Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the PMCO Europe Scrims. This is the official Scrims that we're going to do for many of these talented teams that perform pretty well in the PMCO 2021 Spring Split. I am your host today, Professor Tarsa. It's day 2 right now. We've done the same thing yesterday. We are going to have 4 games today as well. Some teams we've seen yesterday already, some of them are a bit new. Maybe not new to the scene, but new to you if you just only started watching yesterday. Let me make sure that everything's fine because I actually haven't even seen myself today enough, so just making sure lighting, everything is fine, and seems like that is all smooth for now. If there's any concern, I will try to keep an eye on the chat from time to time so you can tell me if I've really screwed up small things here and there. See whether I can adjust those small things for you to make sure you're having a good time like I am. Let's go through the teams that we have for today. We have 16 European teams, and just to recap what I said yesterday as well, these teams have gone to the PMCO 2021 Spring Split in multiple European regions. We have Europe Wildcard, we have UK, France, Germany, as well as Turkey. I think that's all of it. I hope I haven't missed any of them. And I also take some time to add a little bit of the background in my description in this YouTube link for everyone to know the background of teams, which region they're from, how well they've done the last split. But because not really as long as the day as yesterday, but I was still a little bit busy, so I will slowly add these in, okay, as we go on, especially in those time between the games. We have 4 games today. We'll start with Miramar, then we go over to Sandhawk, then we will have 2 back-to-back Erangel games, and you know, nothing new. If you've been following the scene, Erangel, the classical map, has become more and more important, and you know what, everyone should have the most training on that map for it being the earliest maps in the game, like from 2018. Can't believe it, 3 years already, right? So, you know, without further ado, let's go through the teams that we have for today's afternoon scrim. We have in slot 1 Execution UK, which we saw yesterday as well. Then we have CrtlAltDelete. Then we have Outplayed, Entropiq, RENGERS Team from the UK scene. This team didn't play yesterday. And then we've got Daos Legion, UltimaNecat, Pen Most Wanted, SNAKEsquad, Team Night Target, NERA, Take Cover, Conqueror Germany, Hex Esport, TheGhouls. Last but not least, we have No Limits. So a lot of these teams do have some fan base, and they are, you know, some of them being very close to qualifying to PMPL Europe West, and you know, it's really hard. 16 finalist team in all the regions, only 3 or 4 of them make it to represent the region to PMPL Europe West. So, you know what, this type of training ground is great. We will have them almost every Tuesday and Wednesday, building up to the end of June. So a good few months of good practice for these teams with great production from Star Lobby. So shout out to the staff for allowing this to happen, and of course all of you who are supporting, you know, watching and you know, cheering on for the teams that you like. And all these are really important for all these players. You know, like that little bit of hype, that little bit of support can make a world of difference. So let me go through some of these teams yesterday. I know like Execution UK, they bounced back. They've got some decent consistent playing through yesterday as well. But the team that really showed up yesterday, which is not playing today, is actually X Team. They got 88 points when the second place was around 42 or 43. So we are looking for some teams, maybe like the X Team, to completely dominate today. And if you are in this caliber of practice, you want to get a consistent top 3 at least, or 3 and 4 in this PMCO Europe Scrim, because that would maybe transition into your good odds to qualify for the PMPL Europe West in our 4 split, which is coming later this year. So that's about it. We're just waiting for the plane to fly. I think we will have another minute or 2, and I don't know how everyone's feeling with this music. I've just put on some EDM, a bit of a random playlist, so if you like it, I didn't mind link it to you. Let me have a quick look on the chat and see, maybe I've got some brilliant friends right here. Got friends from overseas. Some of my favorite people on earth are in here, and that includes Highland Wolf, of course, my co-caster in PMCO UK, and just Jake. Hope you're doing well. You haven't replied to my messages, so I'm gonna stab you for that one. As we have people slowly coming in. 17 people watching right now. If you like this type of commentary, you know, don't give it to me yet if it's your first time seeing me. Stay around, watch it, see how these teams play, see how I make those action more alive. If you like it, do consider dropping the subscribe button as well as a thumbs up. That would really help me. And yeah, it will be a very interesting day, especially for a lot of these teams having the practice yesterday already. So has the homework gone in already? That's the thing. You play scrims every day, and you may miss out on the chance to, you know, study, add things to your database, to your statistics, and it will just get stacked up. So it's good to have a daily routine if you can, if you have the infrastructures as well, with coaching staff and analysts, managers. Have those people in and start doing these things. A good habit that can increase your odds in the coming weeks and months. Many tournaments coming up. Not all of them are official, but there are some serious cash prize coming into PUBG Mobile esports. So, you know, this is a good time to be alive, right? To play these games and to sometimes make some money doing it. But let's not forget, it's so important to have loads and loads of fun. And of course, I'm still trying to, you know, be better in streaming, casting, and some of these small technical bits I may have to tweak as we go, so do bear with me. So yeah, with the clean feed, etc., we are just waiting for these players to get into the plane, and yes, just waiting for these people to come in. We've got, he was saying, Willow's in the chat, so all from Prodigy Esports Nation and org that I also worked with, and we've got some expansions, and Most Wanted merged with the 7th place in PMCO UK has got a bit of a roster combination of the people that we train from scratch, as well as those who are more experienced, coming together to see what we can do. Of course, we've got Pen OP in the chat, so you know what, we've got many other supporters can absolutely dominate the chat. I've seen that before in the likes of teams like GSG Europe. So speaking of GSG Europe and some of these teams, for example, Unicorns of Love, all those who we shall expect to see in mid-May for PMPL Europe West, they are doing scrims as well. So my dear friend and co-caster Imperium have been doing those, so do keep your eyes open for all these socials for the casters or talents on the talents desk of PUBG Mobile Esports, and you can see many of these scrims and get a little bit of a sneak peek of how these teams work and play before the actual big event, before the big action, before this big money comes in for some of these teams who perform well. And how's everyone doing? Like, second day right now, pretty good weather, like for these for in the UK at least, and I'm going to slowly transition into this playing path and game screen because we are going to have this game 1 starting, and I'm going to quickly sort that out for you, and just to make sure that we have everything as we want. There we go, everything is on board, everyone is ready, including me. Okay, you know what, I may have to do something better. Let's look at that. 180p. That's what we want. There we go. All set and done. Almost preemptively celebrated for that. You know, technical things, productions, all that, part of the deal, part of the practice for me as well. And we are going to have this plane path from Los Higos all the way to the top right of the map, just in between Campo Militar and Tor Ahumada. And we talk about trying different drop spots, and Execution UK definitely doing that with 2 players from the original Sons of Odin roster, which took the 16th place in the PMCO UK finals. They are trying something new. I think it's just, you know what, people come in with different objectives. Sometimes they want to focus more on wide rotation and fighting. Some people want to just really stay to their drop spot and try those 4v4 and test how they rotate out of it. And maybe the plan for Execution is to just, you know, practice scouting, shot stops and stuff like that wherever they go, and we can see this playing path And phase 1 circle mostly going to the south part of the map. Who would have thought that dropping to Los Higos mean that you will have a pretty good position in the circle? So teams like Pen Most Wanted, who are split huge, knowing that there's only 4 players still on that playing path, will comfortably take a big split. One taking, like, each of them taking one city, but we have some knocks coming through already. You know what, I think that might be a little bit loud, so I'm just gonna tune this down a little bit to see whether that's to our favor. So keep me posted, chat, and we will be able to adjust those audio level as we go. So some knocks coming through already, and we can see a lot of people actually opting in to drop in the first half of this playing path. So Pen Most Wanted, the only team that goes all the way to the end, so meaning that they will need more time to rotate into the circle, but also a lot of uncontested loot, so they can come in prepared, but still need to do their homework to scout forward wherever they go. And but that is some knowledge and skill that we sometimes overlook, right? Maybe they know from, let's say, water treatment, there's only 4 people on the plane, and it's us. It's only us, so they know how empty that part of the map can be, how soon they should expect any resistance. And you know what I said, we've got to have 16 teams, but this time of the day sometimes a bit hard for people who are working, who have school as well. So we will first have 12 teams in this game 1. Just a reminder, right? So we've got Miramar first, then going to the jungles of Sandhawk, then we'll have the back-to-back Erangel. So including yesterday's 4 games, this is officially match 5 for the PMCO Europe Scrims. And as we see here, we have the side of OP. Let me find out their official name. I've got to get used to these teams as well. You know, I've done a lot for the PMCO UK scene, but definitely here and happy to learn more about these other teams. Outplayed is the name for Team 3, and we also have NERA, who played yesterday and showed some good tactics, some good controls as well, as Matt OP tried to scout and track some movement of the duo on the buggy from the side of Outplayed. With some trigger discipline as well, maybe they are just tracking those movements so they can effectively pinch them. Seems like this is one of the most overlooked skill. Okay, not in tier 1, not in pro play, but maybe in tier 2. I did have a bit of an opinion through coaching and being an analyst myself in terms of what makes someone a tier 1 player, and so you can actually focus on some areas of training, if you may, to make you better, because I know that a lot of people know this. Big money in is not just that, but the passion for the game. They want to be better, and knowing your strengths and weaknesses is one way to go, but knowing what areas you should really look out for to self-assess would be a very, very vital part of player development as well. At Night Target, a team that played yesterday as well, and as well as a team that made it really, really close to PMPL Europe West when they were playing the PMCO Europe wildcard. So they show some promise for sure, but something that of course I can improve on as well. Everyone needs improvement is roster changes. I think the majority of the Night Target roster, right, are as the one that they played the past split with, but a lot of teams definitely have changed their rosters. I've seen teams going, like, you know, going their separate ways. You've seen teams rebranding, getting a new name, etc. And this is another team that we see in here take cover that I need to learn more about. But you know what? The best way to learn about a team is to watch them play. They are around Monte Nuevo. We can see a lot of that congestion already around the south parts of the map. Outplayed is around there, as we saw earlier. NERA is there, and the split on that southern small island by Executions UK, and we also have Nika needing to come in, but with a good split with a solo scouting in to the circle ready around those hill areas to the east of Monte Nuevo. TC is in Monte Nuevo. Daos Legion, another team pretty high up that board. It's either 6 or 7. I think Daos Legion and Night Target were the 6 and 7 place. I don't know which way around, but they are pretty close to qualifying for PMPL. And so these teams are in here as well, so that is nice to see. The goals are very close to Daos Legion, but they are on that northern edge. A lot of open areas still between that space. The triangular shape, I should say, of space between Picado, Los Leones, and Chumacera. A lot of choke potentials only if you know how to play it. Okay, some particular strong dips here and there, all important for these teams to know how to use. And I can't stress that enough, because I've made a lot of points yesterday, and I try to make these cast and commentary a little bit educational as well, just a bit of what I know, so we can have a little bit of a balance between having fun, watching people kill people, clutching, as well as being better players ourselves. But you know what? Sometimes you don't even have to be the best player to, be a caster. If you want to get into this area of work and have some fun, interact with the community that way, there is definitely a space for you without needing to be the best player. But we have SNAKEsquad here, a name that is very well known in the PUBG mobile scene. In the past few seasons, they've got teams in different areas, especially in the EMEA scene. We've got some strong showings from this team, and so let's see what they can do for this one that they are sending in today's scrim. And we see the side of Entropiq as well. A lot of hype in the chat yesterday. I know they have some results to back them up as they rotate through Minas Alval, this very hilly area, to find a next spot. You know what? This is a good phase 1 circle for practice, guys. Like I always say, you learn one area every game, because of where the mid-late game go, or every time you die is a lesson. But you know what? Not a lot of people take that to their heart, and not a lot of people keep track of their growth, keep track of their training, as well, keeping track of their mistakes. Sometimes people know that, right? Like, I think that's the basic level, is to know what you've done well and what you could have improved on. If not every day, if not every game, maybe every day or every week. And the important thing is to come up with a plan, right? To know how to improve on one thing. If not, you just come back to the same bullet point without having a plan in terms of how to actively improve on that, as we have the phase 2 circle still, of course, on that very southern side, centering over the phase 1 circle, with the middle being the hills to the south of Chumacera. Good knock coming through. We have 4 TM in here with a knock. This is some Chumacera action on top of Entropiq. So a little bit of potential pinch coming through. Get some, will get some, and then we will have the rest of that SNAKEsquad trying to set up Dark with that footstep discipline, not giving away any more footsteps. That will allow them to stay stealth for now, and that can be a very, very deadly offense. And that is Dark actually leaving that spot now, because Get Some has been knocked. Slow Mo is also low, but with that little bit of healing coming through, they will get that reset. But that push and pinch will actually fall apart. 2 of them not right now. The flush also comes through for one of them. 2 kills right now for Entropiq, although there was just a side that was responding. This SNAKEsquad pulled the trigger, but they could not get what they wanted. Now a 2v4 situation. And this is the thing, right? Like when you try to pinch an area and stuff, you need to make it like work based on your knowledge of that map. Like for early rotations, it's about something challenging a team that knows that area very, very well. And but we also see teams who can get an end circle in their drop spot, still choking in the bit that they're supposed to know a lot. And here we have the NERA against the Daos Legion team. 1-4-1, 1-4-2 actually. With that flush coming through, Daos Legion is strong with that one, and we will also have action happening another side, the side of the QDE is Conqueror Germany, as they find 2 kills on this part of the map, knowing how to split along it. sometimes catching just enemy off guard. NECAT down to 2 players, I assume. With that flush, it's definitely just Malum standing on his lonesome, or he may have a teammate really far. If that's the case, they just really need to find that brilliant off angle to maybe get Malum and out from that compound. But you know what? Daos Legion said no. We know there's at least one up, and that is where we want to take this last one, and that is them clearing the back before moving forwards. The first team out of today's game 1, or we should say match 5 of the PMCO Europe official scrims, is NECAT. It's just a little bit brain fart there, don't mind me. So this type of area can be really tricky. Yeah, like you just need to, because there's so many hills, you need to, if you're an edge team, you still need to find a time to transition into taking a strong center position. I see teams doing this, or I see the community or the competitive scene doing this, where they label a team as an edge team or center team, which has his reasons, and I can see like what's with that idea. But you know what, after all, it's flexibility and adaptability, as we have the phase 3 coming through, and some teams are literally just tanking through circles so they can get into, you know, some secured early game, but we will have that circle going slightly towards the Los Leones side, a slight eastern shift. And right here, after taking 2 kills early on, Entropiq is trying to get another one. TheGhouls is on top of them with some cover fire. This is some close scouting work. Now Fumi is on here trying to pick up more footsteps. The support fire, cover fire is around. Maybe he could make this beautiful jump shot, but both sides are having some brilliant cover fire. Both. It's a battle of supports really, and this is something that you love to see when it comes to this tier of play. 1 or 2 to get anchorage point, 1 to overload as support fragger, another one to take an off angle, and all these are important. And Depan is using his brilliant double iron sight loadout for now with AK iron sight. One of my favorite iron sights, you know. I mean, think about guns, right, guys? I think AK-47 is probably the first gun that I know, like with the actual name of the gun, because of how it is. And we can see Sloy losing at least one of those back tires on buggies, severely compromising the mobility of this vehicle, and that is further pressure coming from Conqueror Germany, and we will have night targets still needing to rotate around. Slide continue to rotate and try to get a spot, but that is a more pinch formation against a more clumped, and we will have another potential fight right here between the team that dropped to Los Higos, really near right there. I don't know what N7's doing. He is actually making out alive for now with the sock cover from the smoke. He only got 8 bandages and just buying time for the rest of the team against the push of Execution UK. Playing as a trio is Outplayed. If they can really win this 3v4 is considered an outplay for sure, but we can see a lot of teams, even in yesterday's scrims, some teams of trios, right, have been absolutely dominating, or I should say just winning 3v4s like again and again. And you know what, that is another type of practice, and I would like to see teams still playing confidently, although they may not have the numbers advantage. 2 kills now for TheGhouls, a team that we want to see more from, and seems like they have been showing some strengths in playing these open terrains and finding the limits of certain dips, etc. And we will have Sloy eventually getting found, so Night Target has lost 1. Hisk still very split away from the team, and they need to just keep moving against the wrath of the grouped up Conqueror Germany, who will also get the circle. Centering over here, we have a lot of hills that teams can play, only if they know the absolute limits of it. Only 2 teams in the center right now, or I should say anchorage point by Exile. Tika still has to come in. Hisk are probably on their way to join them as well. Pen Most Wanted coming in from the northern side, and also potentially coming from the northern side of the circle, we have Daos Legion and the side of TheGhouls. Maybe there will be some fight on this northwestern edge. And like I said, the team called Outplayed will get a knock onto NERA. Never underestimate the power of the solos and trios, duos, you name it. We've got so many placement points securely placed in the pockets of some teams yesterday, just based on good solo play, and that really allows me to go back to the topic of mentality, mental strength and stuff like that. Some teams would just fight from start to finish after losing 3 pretty early, and would just severely lower their chance of getting points. Okay, and if you don't have emotional control, don't play comp. You're hurting yourself, you're hurting each other, you're hurting your ego because you won't get results being a flamer. That's basically it. And that sounds really strict, right? But need to set some bars there. Like, who would like that? And Pen most wanted slow rotation through, I should say, patient rotations in the first few phases will actually get them a spot after all, and finding a knock by Siren onto Night Target on the northern side. Baka now playing today. I think there's a little bit of a roster change for this roster. They played yesterday as well and made it to top 8, but some good plays, also some simple mistakes. But from just my connection with the team, I know that they've put some work into revealing those, not letting each other get away for not reflecting on certain mistakes, and we will have further frag everywhere. Ben most wanted holding that northern part, finding sight lines. The relative high ground is strong, but that means they may have to rotate down the hill later on. Execution has lost Insania. They are almost there to take this player out from NERA, but Recreza will get that heal up, and we'll have the hard cover 4 now, and will be at the mercy of the PUBG gods, be in the circle still for now. 9 teams remaining, 28 players, so on average a trio. How are we going to make it out driving like that? But Vela said, you know what, I missed a few sprays, maybe that's the reason why, as he continued to spray down, and that will be the escape strategy from this NERA player taken away. Now, Conqueror, we've got many Conqueror teams. Of course, we know that one who has multiple ex-Godsend players who will be playing in PMPL. But we also have Conqueror UK, basically a team that was with, I forgot the players. We've got a few of them who are like really good, I should say, in really decent UK teams, and they just take that slot, you know, rebranded, join this bigger organization. So we've got Conqueror UK for sure, and today we have Conqueror Germany. So most wanted needing to rotate now on that northern side, still needing to rotate also is Daos Legion already on the northern edge. We have Ticker not right now, but the Night Target squad has made their way in, so they have a pinch, or I should say an anchor point in there, still needing to rotate, and not easy as a rotation path for many of these teams. Only 11 seconds to go, then the phase 5 circle will pop, and sometimes, you know, taking a spot, you use a lot of resources to try to get some knocks like Penmos wanted, but like because of the landscape, finding it a bit harder to capitalize on those as they try to come in with a bit of a push. They want to contest this, they want to practice this fight, and this is them fighting against Daos Legion, or trying to pinch all of them. We also have the other side fighting as well. In the middle zone, they're trying to hold this down. Penmos wanted have one knock on their side, and they have to support further, but that is them actually having a different focus as well. Like Siren spraying onto another team when there's a team straight in front of them, and then we will have some other sight lines from another team cheekily trying to pinch that. So the last one standing right now for this team is Baka, but he would take 1 kill before going down, and I think this is time to do damage control. Daos Legion still need to rotate though, so it's about maybe playing some spoiler in this particular moment. Trying to put some more work in against 3 players of Daos Legion. Not scared to peek one more time, but will restrain from it for now. Now all of them are kind of rotating, leaving one behind, and that will be another knock by him. And just needing to get a little bit more, we'll find another knock, and actually will outlive the side of Daos Legion, because there has been another team trying to put some pain in. So Buckets, with some solo play, actually saved his team when it comes to placement points, and will grab at least a few kills. Execution has not made it into the center without resistance, though. As you can see, burning vehicles all around. They've lost some players earlier. Bilal and Shoxy now in here trying to hold this position down. And they just really need to know how to use those covers. We can see the sort of night target. After losing one, they will have those three holding with a split formation to control the northern half of the map, but some of these sightlines are not easy to find, as Twix needing to find a better position as well, almost lost his life there, and he will find himself a different spot, so he will live for now. But I spoke too soon. That's Conqueror Germany from the other side striking as well, and that is Conqueror with a beautiful split. 2 in the circle. The 2-1-1 is strong. The problem is the landscape, but you know what, sometimes not up to you. You just need to use your side of control and try to capitalize on that. This circle is pretty rough. A lot of these teams only N7 from Outplayed, as well as Conqueror Germany in the circle right now. So we will need to see how these players rotate, how they can use their resources. You know what, for this little circle, this is utmost game knowledge and map knowledge. You can't say you can't really survive without some sort of knowledge, or at least immediate assessment of the circle as well, or the landscapes, or the things around. And just look, speaking of trio, that is TC with the beautiful trio play. 11 kills already. What the heck is going on? And that is just, you know, nothing to be ignored. And they will continue to come in. Take cover is the team's name. It's good to see some new potential. Bilal will first punish Ultra for rotating in, and he will actually get finished after all. So that is TC. Take cover, taking cover. Ultra is not, whilst he's taking cover, further cover behind Twix can maybe provide the support. The soft cover has been deployed to maybe get a little bit more. We will also have Night Target finally coming in, yet to get a kill, and the last one standing is Hisk, and he's not able to get any further points. Seems like he's still in there, though I might have spoken too soon. Why did I think that way? Why did I say that? It's really unprofessional. I can't make assumption, guys. That's just my work. I can't do it. And but what can be done is a full team of Conqueror, the Conqueror organization. Now the Germany team showing us their strengths. We're down to 4 teams. Two trios and 2 solos. So I think it's about the solos playing stealth when they can, and the Hisk is under pressure. Maybe G99 is there to finish it, but you know what? Baka will be found first by the side of Take Cover, and that will be Night Target actually making it to top 3, and they will challenge with some shots, but G99 will take the 1v1 confidently, so we will end with a 3v3 in this end zone of game 1. 9 kills right now for Conqueror Germany. Then we have Take Cover with up to 12 kills, I believe. So both of these teams are easily taking up to 25 points, and that is nothing to be ignored. And as we see, don't ignore your cover. Why do you nade like that, friend? And this is some type of practice as well. Okay, the first practice that people always say about throw balls is using the I button, then using gyro, right, to get a little bit more info with that I button and with that third person perspective. But the other one would be to have really good purposeful movement. Okay, when you are cooking a grenade, you can cook when you're prone. You only need to stand up when you have to, but that rely on the precision when you are actually throwing the throw ball. And but a lot of players don't have that, and you just stand out in the open like a ball. Just try to think how you would look like to your enemy from their perspective if they're third person peeking you, you know. So that would be one. And of course, I know some of these names. Aga was from the Uncle's last split, and then now part of Conqueror Germany. So this can be a very, very interesting team because we saw what Aga can do, but let's not forget about how these teams have been playing this really, really well done. And G29 actually missing some shots. Richline is there to provide, but that will be him getting the knock anyway. And that will be the last one standing for the side of take cover as he take cover, as he tried to hold it down. And he loses more health as we have Rashio pushing in even further, as we have the Conqueror Germany trying to take the first win in the first game ever in the PMCO Europe Scrims. Rashio pushing in, a little bit of peek and fire, a little bit of hip fire, the AKM challenging with the drop shot as well. Beautiful finish as we have the game 1 finish with the really strong win. 12 kills and a win for Conqueror Germany. Then we have take cover, the trio taking 14 kills, and that is just crazy game 1, and really can't complain. Really good game, and you know what, I'm looking forward to see more. It's like some of the teams that we haven't even heard about, but part of that reasons being maybe you're not following that region. 2, they have changed their name. 3, I don't even know, man. You probably know some of the players' name. That's probably the main 2 reasons. As we have this mirror mud game done, you know what, making me really excited to for the game 2 on Sandhawk, where there's a lot of interesting tactics, where the heal strat can come in so huge, and of course the smallest map. So all those things in the early game that I like to talk about: when to jump, how to jump, where to focus on, so that you can secure your phase 1 in particular will be in front of our eyes. So I will not stop analyzing that way. That is my joy and my passion when it comes to this game. So we're going to go on a little bit of break, need to find the perfect music for this, but do bear with me for now. But yes, we will see you in around 10 minutes or so. So stay around, and I'll see you guys soon. Hey, what's up? How's it going? That is game 1 done, and we're getting ready for game 2 over at Sandhawk. And you know what? I need to adjust this for sure. And yeah, sometimes just a little bit of a tech thing, and you may not understand unless you are doing this. But yes, we have standings on the table. This is mostly those from yesterday, but yeah, let's not forget about how this can be a continuous process where we track how teams perform over a period of time. So we saw some stats earlier as well, and we will see a lot of these coming up, you know, kill feed, kill counts, damage done, and all that good stuff. And we will see more of these in this coming period. So shout out to StarLadder again to allow these type of good stuff for us to see. And some stats are always exciting, but let's not forget sometimes team play is more important, and the stats only speak one side, you know, of the whole situation. As we have this game 2 now started over at the jungle of Sandhawk. Plane path going through that western side, making areas like Volnite, Lakawi slightly harder to reach, but you know what, it's a pretty small map. And we should also see some adaptation coming through from some of these teams, but small maps means people can be anywhere. Okay, so this really tests these players when it comes to, you know, trigger discipline, scouting, keeping track of enemies, as we have the side of NERA back to their favorite spot over here on that northwestern island, a Camp Alpha spot, and Camp Alpha's drop, as we have the RENGERS, a trio now joining us in this game 2. The PMCO UK team has shown some good wins, to be fair, in the course of that tournament. Now the trio is joining us in here, contesting this Camp Alpha drop against the full team of NERA. See different drop spots coming through as well. Paradise Resort now held by SNAKEsquad, and Most Wanted in the middle of 3 teams. Basically, we have the side of the TheGhouls going for Attack Mob and Cow split, and also the winners, not winners, the second place of game 1 take cover will be taking those rich compounds just off the east side of that Hartin Bridge. So a lot of the key areas are untouched, but you know what, 13 teams, so not as many teams in the lobby as we want, but we can still, of course, get some good practice, at least based on the caliber of play, the experience of these teams building through the past months, at least in that PMCO spring split. Would love to see more of the actions, you know. Always love creating these interviews so we can have some storylines tracking the growth of teams, as well as players who know who will the next rising star is, right? And we'll first have Barker, the player from Penmost Wanted, taking the first knock of game 2. We'll put some pain onto take cover from this position, and this is some good momentum coming in for this team to stop this team of trio and the momentum, because that was such a strong game 1, and Penmost Wanted is here to do some street revenge. Didn't make as far as they want, but the 4th place finish is pretty decent. They're now just providing suppressive fire with a 2-1-1 split to stop the side of take cover in reviving the teammate. The Barker actually strike pretty early. Will try to aggressively peek one more time when he has absolutely no meds, no gear. So he needs to know the limits of that, and the support is coming in now with a car, and the suppressive fire continues as Kid goes for a bit of a flank. And something that they need to bear in mind of is the number of players in the teams, number of players in the plane from all these teams dropping around this area. They need to know that they are at least one team that's going for a more northern drop, as we have some action finally breaking as well over here in Camp Charlie. The 1-for-1 knock is the situation right now, with that flush coming in onto ATAX or 4tax. RENGERS down to 2 players. And that is a brilliant peek and shoot by the side of RENGERS. we talked about throwballs earlier, how you need to know when to take, you know, when to move really, because it's not easy to throw a good throwable and not get punished for that. And we can see how Renger punished one for doing that, and the U3Q holding this down. This player showing some promise in PMCO UK for sure, and we take out one player on the side, but still one for one right now, I believe. Yeah, one for two right now, so only a solo up for the side of Rengers. Got some messages. Let me quickly make sure people know. Right, and we're back. U3Q can maybe make a great play, but I spoke too soon. But they will first take one kill before going out at 13th place. So the 1 point placement point range is from 8th to 12th place. Baka still in this position with his AK and Vector, and this is the thing, like, staying in this place, he needs to move back. The cover fire is there for now as he moves on to the next cover, and they need a little bit more loot to continue fighting in this area, because a lot of these surrounding compounds have been looted, and this team will need to rely on a good fight at some time to grab some loot basically from the teammates, not enemies I should say. And we can see the side of Entropiq trying to push this one. They will find this off angle from Kid, and they will come in to finish this. The smoke is deployed earlier first, I'm not sure by which side, but that is Entropiq pushing out from Cal and Tatmok, and they will be able to capitalize on this as they come in to control this area where they heard a lot of gunshots in the past few minutes. Still a very, very volatile position of the map. This phase 1 circle off to the north part, and the center is actually where 3 of these teams are congested right now, to the east of the Hartin Bridge. Daos Legion now in Hartin. Of course, NERA took that win over at the Northwestern Island and will be blessed by the zone somewhat to have still a good 30% of that circle in the island at the moment. And on the south side, pretty interesting as well. Of course, the Game 1 winners will be playing a bit slower. Conqueror, Germany on that south side, and Night Targets in Painan can maybe farm some kills onto NECAT and Conqueror, Germany before leaving to Painan. But that spot is not in the circle anyway. Just sorted some small issues there, and we are back to this this part of the map. And of course, we have TheGhouls is not Entropiq. I've been tripping a little bit, and that is them still controlling this north part. And of course, across the hill, we have the Pen Most Wanted squad back to where Take Cover landed, I think. So won't be able to grab too much loot right here, as we can see Farah still have absolutely no meds and still needing to get a spot. And that is the tricky thing when it comes to dropping in this area. Maybe it's for once that the playing path on Sound not being a little bit harsh, so forcing teams to maybe opt in for a secondary drop spot, etc. You know what, it's all practice, it's all good, it's all chill. As long as we can take the good learning from these, then it's all good. Now, okay, finally I can talk about Entropiq when I've been calling the goals Entropiq all that early games. I apologize for that. And they are holding this very strong hill to the northeastern parts of Bootcamp. A very, very good hill, controlling multiple sides. The crosser from that main road to their southeast gets sightlines onto Bootcamp. Also, all the swimmers, if any of those players want to rotate through the waters from the northwestern island. Now, right in here, we have a trifecta standoff across the river. We have the game of winners, Conqueror Germany, against another team across that field. I believe that is... Ooh, let me test my brain. What team is that? Daos Legion, I think, is the team across, because let's not forget that they've dropped Painan, so maybe this is the logical thing to do, to slowly rotate in to that side of that map. Now we've got SNAKEsquad showing some promise, I mean, just through the history of PUBG, now facing the team called Outplayed, the team that put some good showing as a trio. Now they're back as a full team, so I'm expecting them to do a little bit more. SNAKEsquad, no contest around Paradise Resort, will opt in to just stay here for now to increase the control. Lisa will first come in with the buggy to scout further in, and they may have the relative center with respect to SNAKEsquad's position in Paradise Resort. And we can see what can happen when you're really low on loot as well. And she sent one to grab some loot. Penmo's one to sending Farah to that small island. Definitely more loot than he ever will see. And that they will have this circle as well. The problem with that island is very hard to say. It's so hard to bet that it will actually go over there. But they can at least outlive a few teams, I think, just holding the position. Because we can see the many teams needing to rotate still. And this is actually Night Target, not Daos Legion. And there is Night Target in here across this river, and we'll first find a good one onto Conqueror Germany, trying to take down and dethrone the game one winners right here in the jungle of Sandhog. But the third party is strong. It's NECAT from behind, from that Painan ridge, that small hill, relative high ground, will make a Night Target sandwich for now. Look at Peace trying to just get the finish with the nade as well. NECAT will have a good spot. Just look at where they are with regards to the circle. They can rotate into it and stop many rotation paths for the side of Night Target, as well as Conqueror Germany. I wonder what's going through the mind of the players of Conqueror Germany. Do they want to cross the bridge, like fight this and then enter bootcamp side, or they can just stay on that side of that map, rotate through the northwestern island? That would be another option for sure. And then NECAT is having a beautiful split. I like it. Look at the top right there. A 2-1-1 split. 2 to keep an eye on to Night Target for now. And off angle closer to circle to potentially establish an entry spot into the circle. And then another one further right, further east as well, to make sure no one's stabbing them from further behind. So that is a good split, guys, and we love to see those, as we see teams really just taking their time around this junction still, because you just get heavily punished when you go out of cover. So this is the thing that we will expect these teams to know how to do properly, and we will have the side of Overpowered joining that, of course. And the Peace needs to be really, really careful. Of course, he's got an entry spot, like I said, but the escape strategy from that one rock is really, really limited. But you know what? Conqueror will opting to find a side angle. They have rotated out G99 with the beautiful side angle as they rotate closer to these other bridge, and they will find a little bit of flank. Is a good maneuver. Is heads up is needed as well. Night Target might be forced to swim, as we see Exile has made that call and they have made that move for now, and but that makes the next bit a little bit tricky, as we see the clash between the Conqueror and Daos Legion, as Daos Legion try to be one step ahead. The clash on that northwestern island is there, so Conqueror Germany needs to find a different spot, maybe to thread the needle to get in to the play zone. Oh, and that is
Conqueror having some issues, and for sure. And right in here, of course, a little bit more clash, and we will see the side of, you know, like brilliant control and brilliant pre-fire as well against the jump shot. That is TheGhouls taking out the game 2 second place. So game 1 second place in this game 2. So take cover will fall a little bit earlier than we wish. Yeah. And this swim needs to continue. It's not an easy plan, but we can see why they get forced to do this. And Night Target will get that 1 kill for now, but has lost 2 trying to do that. Yeah. A little bit more action right here, as we can see Daos Legion needing to come in, and that is them trying to go against the control from TheGhouls, but you know what, 1 is not enough against that full team, so Daos Legion will live another day. Few small technical things here and there, so as I'm trying to sort it out, it's not on the screen, but I will keep you guys posted as we see, you know, quite some action still in here, and you can see Night Target's really hard to get up there, and he's actually put some great shots before he continues to need to heal up in this circle. Who knows, those 4 first states may get him pretty far. Okay, these are sorted. Sorry about that, guys. As we see, the team on Pen Most Wanted actually holding this spot still. We talked about how that early situation can be really hard for them, but they now are in this position and they're just holding it for as long as they can, getting some more pressure onto Daos Legion, stopping their rotation out. At least they are doing all they can, like in this position, and that is sometimes the thing that you have to do when you don't have enough loot, when the escape strategies around it is not easy at all. That is what they have to do as they try to capitalize more, but Daos Legion is really patient in that spot, and that double not coming through is really just Octavian showing his discipline right there. Not giving any sound, waiting for enemies to make mistake is always just a good way to play. And you know what, sometimes we can't fault everyone for those, you know, like you want to make sure you completely cleared your back before you move on, and they know they don't have all the loot, so it's a fight that they need to take now. It's going to be a 1v1, and that is Sarah needing to take this against Octavian, going for that drop shot. They will need to take it even further, and both will go down to the play zone, and that is just something that you need to expect in this positions. Both teams done what they can as the rest of the lobby continues to fight their way out. SNAKEsquad, the rotating out of Paradise Resort pretty late. They want to hold that long, but at what cost? They will lose 2 for this maneuver. Look at Execution UK as well as my the stream glitching a little bit. They will actually take 2 kills, and with all that rotation from really far, they will actually make it in no problem. So just look at Entropiq, right? Yes, Starkey is not, I can see that, but the rest of them, Sans holding the compound, the rest just controlling more parts of the new circle might be the reason why they can potentially beat the other 4 teams still in this game too. We've got solos, 2 of them. We've got Necats. You know what? I actually know enough Mandarin to say the name, but it would just confuse everyone. So we're just going to call him Necat Solo, because that seems to be the case in the past 2 days as well. And then there will be another solo from Outplayed taken out. And we will have 2 more solos. Then my trio and the Starkey got picked up as well. So it's a 4 versus 2. No, 4 versus 4 versus 2 solos. So the odds are on the side of Entropiq as well as Execution UK. But we saw Execution UK sometimes not, at least in 1 or 2 games yesterday, where they couldn't make as much thing done, although they have the numbers advantage. And what makes it hard, even harder I should say, is for Entropiq to have this relative high ground with covers in between as well. They are trying to control multiple sides, and that will be getting some from the Entropiq squad now showing up in here. So it's a 3 versus 4 versus 1. So that is the price paid by Execution UK, but they at least found that Nick's position, Nick's cover, only to find themselves needing to go to Entropiq even further. But just look at that solo going down to the play zone, but not we'll first knock one before going down to the zone. So that is damage done as well. And this is the time, this is go time for Executioners maybe. But you know what? It's not an easy route to push up. They need to choose a side, they need to put good cover fire, good reflex and stuff. But you know what? This is a type of circle or this type of game that in a tournament setting, you try to get 1 or 2 kill points if you can, then try your best to not give points away, maybe by nading yourself, giving it to the zone, you name it. But it's all in the books of PUBG. So just look at Sam's position. Yeah, it's a spoiler position for sure, but he needs to make it work soon, because he has not got a spot in the circle. But just look at beautiful shot by Shoxy, trying to push up. They can maybe turn the tables right here. They're using brute force, but there's a 1-for-1 right now. The growth is so strong from Sand, so it's still Starkey trying to get some info from the top of the rock while he's still knocked. And this is a 2v2 situation. It's going to be 1 against the rest of it, and that is Execution taking 2nd place, but Entropiq showing up in this game too with 4 kills. And as we can see, would want to see more of that, to be fair, but you know what, no problem. And interesting game right there. And just the things we want to see. Sandhawk, I mean, it could have been even more action-packed, like just the nature of the map, but because we don't have as many teams as we want. But we saw some really, really good things, right? Stuff like that part between that coast, so that Hartoon Bridge, Tap Mock, and then Paradise Resort. Like, that space can be really, really volatile. Got enough covers, but you can only use it so far. Once you pass a particular ridge line, then it's quite open in the main road. So these are some things that we saw teams are pretty aware of and try their best in terms of when to cross, how to cross, and stuff like that, and what info to not give, what opportunities they don't want to give their enemies. So these are some good traits that we want to see, and we will get to see more of them. And 2 more games coming our way, and the classical map Erangel with the back-to-back is something that I love. You know, even in PMCO UK, we've got games 1 and 4 Erangel, and we get to see some adaptations being made. And now that it's back-to-back, I would assume, because it's so fresh, that team can immediately adapt and implement something and maybe come out ahead. So that is Game 2 done. We will be on a short break, and we will have some clips as well on the screen in a matter of seconds. So I will see you guys in Game 3 whilst you just take a break. I'll take a sip of water, enjoy your break, enjoy these clips, and I'll see you guys soon.
How's it going, guys? Are you ready for game 3? We have some stats on that screen right now, and they are trying to toy with me. Come on. Look. So annoying. Let me sort this out with that little bit of filter and stuff. There we go. Come on. Sort yourselves. You know what? Like, maybe I'm just bad at technology, and sometimes needing to make sure things stay the same when I change screens and yada yada yada. But anyway, we've got some standings, right? This includes teams that play day one. I believe, you know, like towards the end of the these few months of practice, almost every Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and just a gentle reminder there. So maybe set a timetable. Set an alarm to come back every Tuesday and Wednesday to see some teams play, because we have some nice stats. As you see on the table, X team that played yesterday, still 30 points ahead, the second team. Execution UK played 6 games so far. So you can see NGG team also up there, and you can see how crazy it is. Like the point separation from one good day, 88 points in one day, and we can see the rest of the team slowly catching up. Execution, Entropiq, Team Night Target, Pen Most Wanted, UltimaNecat, and the NERA all played 6 games now, so playing both days, and need to take this chance to maybe catch up a little bit. I mean, we've got 2 more games on this big map, and we can still see some great games, and we saw pretty decent 20-point plus games from multiple teams that we see today, and we will get to see a lot more. And let me have a think of how some of these may end up. So Execution UK, I think they go for a Severny drop, if my memory serves me correctly. UltimaNecat, I have to have a think, but they are not scared to play the bottom left of the map, okay, in my experience. X team, I know they're not playing today, but they are a Yasnaya team, and the Pen Most Wanted may take that away because they clashed with X team yesterday, so also opting in to play that top left of the map. As we head into this game 3, let's bring ourselves over to this beautiful game, beautiful map of Erangel, with the playing path going from this southern island. So this is just to the eastern side of a military base, basically a straight path all the way to Stalba, making spots like Georgopol, Gatka a bit harder to reach. Let's not forget we've got some Gatka teams, and we can also see teams adapting and take Pachinki. But one thing that we know is teams like Royal Knights that played yesterday, a military based team not being with us today. So we can see the adaptation, and that is just Execution saying, you know what, let's take this away. And they are the only team who will come in to drop on the southern island. So a lot of loot there, a lot of vehicles. Just need to know the timing of that first rotation. Of course, how they want to do it and when will all come down to the phase 1 circle. We have some congestion heading towards Milta and Milta Power area. Also some contest around the farm area as well. So we have SNAKEsquad maybe taking Pachinki and Night Target, going for a drop on these rich compounds just off that western bridge, and we will have a southwestern phase 1 circle, which has been pretty, you know what, frequent, if I do say so myself. Not easy to play, a lot of open fields, and if you want to get to the best high hills 360 control around the quarry and these small hills around the south of Gatka, you have to be a bit quick, and also will be a very sweet spot in the circle. It's probably the Everest, which is that big hill in between hospital and ruins. And yes, the congestion is around that Milta side, and of course, like RENGERS showing us what they can do for the second game only in this match 7. Didn't play yesterday, this game 1 today, so you know what, still waiting for them to show us more. And Conqueror showing multiple strings as well. I mean, through the past 2 games, of course, a little bit of a situation where they find themselves a little bit stuck around the trifecta compound in that game 2 in Sandhawk. So this may be something that they can do better in. Of course, very different map, and just need to use those plane path information as well as, you know, the usual methods in tackling these early phases, or just any phase of the game.
to see what they can do. Daos Legion, yes, I know they're Yasnaya team, so that is actually no surprise to me. And so it would be nice to see them fighting X Team. You know, both PMCO Group wildcard teams, and it makes me want to go back and watch some of my lovely fellow casters to see how they've casted those games and what these two teams do. You know, X Team not playing today, but Daos Legion are playing, and they would definitely clash again. So big round 2 after PMCO Europe wildcard. And Pachinki is split from the SNAKEsquad. No contest here. The thing with Pachinki is, like, if you've got no contest, you want to have, okay, this is how I see it. You want to have someone to get cards and stuff, then start in the middle, then spiral out to the outskirts. So you can actually transition into more of a scouting function. Still, like in that phase 1, you can miss a lot. You can miss a lot of information if you split drop from the side on the outskirts of a city and all end and join in the middle, because that is the time where you can miss some people rotating. Of course, we see our first knock and kill coming through already, and we will still see a little bit of congestion as we expected on this southeastern part of the map, and that is Conqueror losing Aga early. So Zaki, the other side, this is going to be side of Entropiq trying to get more control. One kill confirmed and then another knock, and they will just send in more, and that is just the last one standing. He has to just go away. This is damage control needed. Conqueror Germany has choked so far in this game 3. Entropiq with the supreme formation right now, the trading, the splits, the comms, and the execution in this, getting them 3 early kills after such a strong game 2. Let's not forget about momentum being an important part of the game, and Octavian is just screwing with my head right now. The Daos Legion team has one carrying the no hate team tag. Octavian definitely carried a different one, but suddenly want to bring the no hate name back. Also got a Scrim Farm tag in here as well, so sort it out, guys. And so Severny actually now claimed by Outplayed, and that is a very, very interesting adaptation, because we know that Execution UK has gone there yesterday. Severny, they tried Watertown, they tried Severny, and they're now in military base. So 3 different drop spots in the past 3 games of Erangel that they've played in this official PMCO Europe scrims. Bit of a split to that Stalber Kameshki side by Pen Most Wanted. No surprise there. That is something that they've done time and time again. Just need to quickly make sure everything is smooth. Make sure my chat is happy when it comes to technical issues. Hopefully there's none, and seems like we are okay for now, so we are going to just continue and crack on with this. How is everyone doing? Are you liking this commentary? Are you liking the way they play? And is your team doing well? You know what, Hex Esports, welcome. Finally, after missing 2 games, they are in here, and the names of which I can't really pronounce properly. Fakafuku is the name of one of the players, and because it was so tricky, I missed all the time to find out the names of the other players, so damn it. Take cover. Strong game in game 1. Did not make it through well enough. Multiple teams in that game 2 forgotten that there's still a team on that northern side, and it gave them the edge. But look at this, NECAT trying to grab a bit more with this early kill right here. Beautiful thing, beautiful play by Jume, and would take one out early, get some great loot as well, and they would control these 2 barn houses, we should call it, along that coastline. And this is a strong position for now. I think they can choke a lot of rotations from the teams opting in to come through from farm, and but it's also just, you know, a good spot to stop for there, for shot stops them to make a progressive rotation, as we can see them actually slowly rotating past, very close to them kind of on that north side. We have the team of Entropiq coming in hot after 1 win as well as 3 kills already in this game 3. You guys hear this music of the car? Like when I play this game, I just switch it off. I don't care. I don't like it. So I just, you know what, like turn it off. But it is making me a little bit nostalgic. I think partially for the days when I don't even know that I could turn off that music and forced to play with my noob friends. When I play this game, I'm joking. Those are good old times. Don't forget the fun, guys. Don't ever forget that component. So Night Target here, I've kind of hyped them up for a bit now. This is the 7th game of this PMCO Scrims, and as you can see, they still got more to prove. And we see multiple teams rotating in from that northeastern side. Conqueror have lost to pretty early, and they're now trailed by the full team of Daos Legion, who rotated out of Yasnaya. Kid from Penn Most Wanted holding a spot there to maybe buy some time. The rest of the team still needing to catch up. NERA trying to do the same as well. But meanwhile, we also have this fight happening. Night Target is facing the push from the SNAKEsquads. We have this next circle as well, a little bit indecisive, is how the games of PUBG are like for this game 3 right now. A little bit of military-based island still in play, and the sort of execution already crossed that bridge. Now onto the other side, it will be a slightly more of a coastline finish, I should say. So different potentials, desperate time, desperate measures sometimes, or I'd say maybe we'll see people trying to stay in the water or something like that. Only as a trio Night Target this game can maybe make something work, and but I spoke too soon. Maybe the brilliant slow-mo with a little bit of a pinch. The Overwatch is pretty sweet. So 1 knock for Night Target, 2 up on their feet, and the support's coming in a wider flank. Slow-mo getting a different off angle. The off angle master is here to confirm this game, this first kill, and they will turn this into a 4v2. The smokes are deployed within within this compound right now. Let's see what they can do, and we will see how they really surround it. But those smokes inside the compounds actually buy so much time, so this is something that's important, and that is them all, both of them forced to the top of this barn house, and we'll see what they can pull off. A little bit more right here. Daos Legion getting punished for not having enough clan tags, team tags. I'm joking, but you know what? Let's not forget about NERA. I know they need to have more strong showings, but they have shown some promise for sure, and that is the side where they can actually test the skills on. And this 4v2 is still happening. SNAKEsquad taking pretty much, you know, a lot of time. And maybe just waiting it out for the side of Night Target to use all of their smokes. And who knows, maybe that is just their plan. And we will see Rich actually dropping out of the car, getting knocked from 4 damage. And look at a noob. Look at the noob. Look at a noob. Actually very calm on that top bit there as they push in, taking out 1, and they will take out the rest of Night Target. And that is SNAKEsquad taking some time, but eventually came in with a decent push formation, as we see Daos Legion losing 2 in this. And it is strong, but the return fire comes through. Omdati is the name. I think that is the way I pronounce it. And we can also see Farah from Penn Most Wanted getting some sight lines from Potato Hill down to this compound, and using the smoke as soft cover to live for now is great OP. Need to see how these teams want to play this, because this is that type where you can this is the type of circle where you can basically draw the top left half of the circle and the bottom right half separated by the road. The top left half is more hilly, the bottom right is a little bit more relying on ridge lines and coast play. So it will be pretty interesting to see what these teams want to do. Now, breaching into the area of control of RENGERS is the team of Execution UK. They have pulled away from military base successfully and easily, but what they may find some difficulty in is to try to pull up on that small rock and forgetting about the weak side as they get lasered from the warehouse from the northwestern side. Malik alongside two other teammates will be able to control this. Bilal got left behind. Insania want to come in to get more info when the other two players are left behind facing another teammate, or another enemy I should say. They will first clear them out. Two knocked on one side, and then is a 2 versus 2, but we also have Bilal getting finished over. Outplayed is the name, and they will control this. A bit of third party is something that I like to see, so it really tests out the awareness of weak side and footsteps, discipline, all that good stuff for all these teams. Executions going for a bit of a wider spot, maybe retreating back to the coastline. U3Q and Malik, the last two standing, almost taking one down. The peek and shoot is pretty sweet from Malik. He's only got one first aid and one med kit, and they can just get finished from one beautiful nade. Just look at how they use this relative high ground. Some, not a lot of things that teams know how to do unless they really think about it, and that is Outplayed trying to outplay this one. Still a three-way fight in this coast compound. This is a cheeky one. Look at that one. Just in that shack. It's the way that he has to play it, but now that patience needs to be followed up by trigger discipline. If not, it would be all futile. And look at Yamor not even noticing that. With the best time coming in, the backstab can come through from that cheeky one from the shack, and that is Shoxy opening fire, and now leaving himself choked in here. He could have just waited longer as well, is my honest opinion. Just look at the circle, 50 seconds to go. They need to know what it means to open fire at that time. It's to open fire when you don't even have a spot in the circle. So these are the mistakes that we sometimes see. I'm not trying to be too harsh, but it's important to point those out. It takes maybe players to make it once to really improve. And look at Lisa trying to find out the last players of RENGERS still holding in their revive. After revive, they will lose another one. Malik once again the last one standing against two players. Yamor trying to get a side angle, will follow it through. The crosshair tracking was good in that one as they take out that team at 8th place. Round 2 maybe. Daos Legion definitely played this against Penn Most Wanted in Miramar. Now they're very close to each other. Need to see how they want to control this. And first Farah will open up with a good spray as Barker slowly rotate through. The Overwatch is there with the finish as well. I believe Daos Legion's down to 2, if not 3. And there's another one that is just a wipe, I believe, onto Daos Legion. So Penn Most Wanted 3 kills right now, and we'll just really confidently Backer leaving that job to be finished by Penn Most Wanted as he gets some loot for himself as he rotate in as well. Hex Esports, show us what you can do. Huawei is the name, and he is smoked. Now, knocked in the smoke, the rest of his team has to come through as well. Love seeing something new, and it's outside of the circle though. That position held by Hex Esports, the new spot on that outskirts of Pachinki. Sometimes you just mess it up. Picardo, what am I saying? Pachinki with those broken BRDMs, those dips and stuff like that, pretty sweet. And then we can see also on kill feed trying to control this rich position is Ben Most Wanted. They will first have one of themselves knocked on this position. Baka will return one knock for them, and Kid is trying to get a nade across, so this can be a very good fight for them, but the suppressive fire from across is there. They may just have to let this one player go as Kid tries to go for the revive as well. This coastline is not easy to fight if we don't have more info on the other side, and we see this getting really chaotic. Starkey is not, the rest of them needing to get picked up. Baka is on a side trying to get a split compound, but Hex is there to finish some of these kills on this coastline. Not easy play for multiple teams. Starkey slowly leading out. Outplayed has one of the best spots to stop all of these teams from getting through, and seems like Baka are used to getting some of these anchor points for his team, and would be the type of position where he could use a little bit more smokes to protect him from a 360 position, and Hex will eventually get finished when they try to enter from this northwestern side. And this is NECAT taking the 8th kill, and this is where they go up in the leaderboards a lot, and this is something that we like to see. We saw a lot of potential from this team, although they may for a few games they've lost a few pretty early, but whoever they left as a solo has been doing some immense work, getting immense kills still as a solo as well as points. So now is about how these three teams on outside of the circle on the south side, Outplayed, Entropiq, the game 2 winners, as well as Pen Most Wanted, finding how they can get in. Is a battle of timing, is a battle of mets and comms, is a battle of patience, and that is a difference of at least 4 points between the 5th place, which will be rewarded 6 points. If they make it to top 3, then it's 10 points. So let's see what they're going to do. Entropiq, the first team's moving, so maybe Pen Most Wanted might have to get this, and that it should be an easy clean up for the side of taking cover from that building. They actually take out one, the rest of them still trying to come in, and that is backfire. Feeling the rotation, really bold rotation, backfiring against them. Losing one stance is not as well, but at least they will have a spot for now. So that is maybe the price to pay for these placement points. Outplayed has moved as well. Pen Most Wanted, the only team outside of this phase 5 circle. Need to rely on those smokes maybe, and we need to see how the rest of these teams are trying to control this. Piece from NECAT with a pretty good position against the rest of the teams, and just allowing the teammates to, you know, get a high ground position to grab them, and that is fine with the Mini trying to stop some of the pressure from inside of the circle as they live another day. Outplayed will need to now face the pressure of NECAT as well. Multiple pressure coming from multiple sides. NECAT want to just sweep and control the northern half of the circle, arguably, as they take 10 kills already, trying to find the 11th. But this is a good spot. Like, as literally I was playing the game yesterday and was trying to scout out and analyze these spots, and you know what, if they know how to play it, is really strong. Look at the really strong nade as well. NECAT with a strong play. They've got 2 knocks right there. The last one standing is in the grass, relying on those smokes and that ridge line. This is time to loot an airdrop maybe. Don't mind me, he says, and just pick that up. But that means they may have missed out on a window. They're missing out on the window to just grab those knocks as they are trying to get the revive. But doesn't matter, Piece is there for another nade to just knock again and finish again as they find Outplay. And they will kill again and again. 13 kills right now for this team. And now 4 in that circle. The circle shifts up to the north side. NECAT can comfortably just rotate in with the multiple spots already. Outside of the compound is the is the name of the story for Take Cover. They now need to come in and facing Entropiq. The duo still have a position in the circle. Now this trio needs to maybe take this one. NECAT already has eyes on this Ultra, maybe trying to overwatch into that that push, but will need to also face the pressure from NECAT as well. Backfire will need to maneuver around. What a good play with the vehicle, the swapping seats. That is something that you need to practice, something that you need to think about, something you have to be calm enough about to make it work. But that was so close. I would give them so much points for making that count, and that is Pen Most Wanted waiting the time to come in and actually get kills after kills and actually taking down TC down to one player. You know what, I would give credit to Pen Most Wanted in just taking that time to slowly move in, but I would also say that Take Cover, did they use their cover and compound strong enough to take a 360 control that gave a team like Pen Most Wanted arguably no chance in this game to make it to top 3? You know what, we all, you know, win some, lose some, learn some every game, and you know what, just they kind of need to know, like, the numbers advantage, who's going to pull that trigger first. Like, of course, NECAT, just keeping an eye on both of these teams, and let's see who gets that chance first. And Ultra seems like the plan is for him to just take some of these people across first. He will have a little bit more time compared to Pen Most Wanted just because of the position in the circle, but he still has to move though. So this is going to be a really hard one for Pen as they try to give a little bit, you know what, just need to move out there, and could be one of those situations where in tournament setting that you don't even want to give any kill points. And you know what, in those earlier situations they've been low on utility and stuff like that, so pretty good considering that. And now we're ended with Ultra with the 1v4, potentially with the ghillie suit on the outside is someone who's trying to bait him to peek, and he peeks and they will go out at second place. NECAT, the strong, finish this game, 16 kills, and they will be shooting up the leaderboards with a 31-point game. And that is just nothing to ignore. That's not an easy thing to pull off. And let's, you know what? I'll give myself a little bit of a pat on the back as well. You know, I find that, you know what? Who is being a noisy boy? Give me one sec. Is that still going? My God. Give me one sec, guys. I will need to see. Oh, that's done now. Why do we do that? The game got these glitches. Sometimes I feel like it's the players intentionally trying to cause some chaos by spraying, but finally that has died down, and thanks to officials, maybe there are those who stopped the noisy boys from disturbing our enjoyable experience watching this scrim. And I talked about it. Yeah, that type of end circle, the main road separating the top left. How should I put this? Yep, like this. Yeah, the top left half of the circle would be the more hilly parts where there's more chance to like use Overwatch and rotate around without getting like picked apart. Then we've got the southern half, and we could see how NECAT got, you know, put the homework in trying to scout that first and control and made it work. And these are the type of scenario where you can like basically use that type of knowledge and thought process to increase your chances in winning the game. So a really good 31 point game from the NECAT. UltimaNecat is the name. Let's not forget them because they've been showing up pretty well in the scrims. I mean, we've got some solo plays, like I said. Group plays pretty decent as well. Of course, you can say they've got the circle against them. So for when it comes to me assessing how good a squad is, I want to see NECAT showing up again, okay, when it comes to turning the tables when the zone is not on their side, and situations like that when it comes to ability of turning table in adversity. So very, very important skill for some good teams. We're going to go on a short break, and we will come back for the last game. It's back-to-back Erangel, so the last game of today, and probably this week for the PMCO Europe Scrims is on Erangel, and then we will have Maxman next week to host the same brilliant quality scrims for these European teams on next Tuesday and Wednesday. But you know what? I'm not done yet. There's still one more game to go. Let's take a short break. I'll see you all in a matter of around 10 minutes.
Hey, welcome back. One more game to go for today's official PMCO Europe scrims. As you see on the screen right now, we've got some good standings, and see X Team still holding that top spot, although they've only played 4 games yesterday, and the rest of the team still need to catch up. And we can see UltimaNecat had a really good game last game with a 31-point chicken dinner, and it's just crazy to see how much it can propel them up this leaderboard. And we'll get to see the consistency of teams through the months, and it's something that is a really great indication when it comes to how good a team is. We got those stats as well. It's brilliant. You need like kill leaders, you know, damage done. I think they had at least 3.3k in that game. Like, damage is just crazy to think about. It's so much fragging power, and we will have this last game going on now. So let's bring ourselves over to it. Without further ado, we will have this last game of today's scrim. Back-to-back Erangel. You love to see it. I love to see it. With the playing path going from South Georgia Port all the way to Lipovka, making everything more south than farm, a little bit hard to reach. So Quarry, Therapia, Primos, military base are a bit out. So I think the side of Execution UK will show us maybe their 4th drop spot. So 4 games, 4 spots. You know what, maybe they're hiding the tactics as they are jumping towards this Gatka area to maybe get some cars. But let's not forget there's a few teams who like going to that area. I think the side of NERA is definitely one of those teams. So just muted myself because I had to sneeze, but all good now, and we'll see some interesting congestion. Testing a second drop spot maybe. Daos Legion not going for Yasnaya in this one, and they will just go for a North Georgia Port one. Contesting with them is Hex Esports, the 2nd game in our scrims so far. You know what? I like it. It's spicy. I like these early drops, early fights, I should say. Outplayed is a Severny teams. I think is pretty much proof they are going for it the 2nd game in a row. Then we see Penn Most Wanted just getting a bit of a spread to that side that they like to go to, which is more to the northeast of the map. The phase 1 circle will again be on that southwest part of the map. The congestion around farm, Milta Power and Milta is still there, not as crazy as before, with teams doing some adaptation. We have the game 3 winners, NECAT going for a bit of a Rozhok area split, and Entropiq here. The game 2 winners over at Sandhawk would take a South Georgia Port drop. So Daos Legion faced some pressure earlier and not yet showing the full fragging power. Still got something to prove, coming from, you know, a decent showing. I think as a 6th seed for the PMCO Europe wildcard. So of course there might have been some roster changes, so the synergy building is still happening for now. RENGERS, good to see these players. I think a lot of them were in that roster in 2021 spring split PMCO, as they take this farm split right now. No contest, and got a lot of, you know, a lot of cars around as well. And fix the game, PUBG. The plane sound is still there when people touch the ground for so long already. The plane is basically on Miramar right now, and it's still going. Just you know what, Daos Legion will try to control this, I think, but the side of Hex being pretty clumped right now, it relies on the side of Daos Legion to know how much info to pass forward, and this side of voting pass walls can be really tricky and punishable, especially when you are a trio. But maybe I spoke too soon. Octavian with a beautiful knock from across the street will first open this up and turn it into a 3v3. Zayrox is challenging this one against Waiwei, and Waiwei will just pull back for now. Yuasa will get flushed, so that is them losing the first player of this game for 12 teams in this one.
Won't have all the players we want to see, so 3 trios, I believe, one being Daos Legion themselves. Well, the good news is they can fight this for quite a while. Whoa, look at that nade, that was so close. And there's so many chances to go along the coastline for Hex to first rotate to the left side of the screen that you can see right now, to go for a bit of a cross and come back wider. And Omditati, I need to find Hot Juice and Dave to see how they pronounce this name, or might as well just ask the player myself. And as they try to first challenge this, the two off angles battling against each other, Harrix actually just made it through when the other player from Daos Legion are still chasing it down. Like, you get what I mean with this team tags, guys. 3 of them all with different team tags, doing my head in, trying to bother me right now, and but they will still maintain strong. The 3v4 turning it into a 3v2, taking out 2 pretty early, and we will see a pretty quiet phase 1 maybe. Got a split around Gatka, of course, from NERA, and then a 2-2 split, basically a 2-2 split from Execution UK. Just 4 different drops, yeah, in these scrims. I can't just, yeah, you know what, I won't disagree with it. Like, they just need to first set this tone where they maybe confuse each other, where they are actually like dropping, and then they, like, for the 1 or 2 games they drop for the actual drop spot, they can test things in a different way. And just look at this trio from Daos Legion, not scared to take these fights. And Waiwei will first return a knock and will heal up, but then it should be a pretty easy reset as well. But they are not scared. Seiros just want to finish this fight right now. And look at them go, Octavian with the brilliant one. The confidence is there. They didn't even want to allow the heal. They just want to fight that. But let's hold that thought right here. The side of TC, also known as take cover, would not be able to maneuver themselves around this cover because it's more on the side of the Rengers. Numbers advantage in this compound will give them the edge, and 1 kill for now. Masagi is not though, so that's them needing to go pick that up, and TC down to 2 players now. Getting run over by NECAT is Ultra, so Twix is his last one standing. Just don't move, buddy, you still have a chance if you just, you don't let that go. Look at NECAT just taking the time to you know, do a run over. That is a really sad thing for Ultra, and feel the pain for sure, like watching that. Not even a fast car, you know. Wait, fast car, is that a song? I like fast car. Is that Tracy? Anyway, NECAT trying to put more pain in, and that is with the cover 4 now. Twix using a little bit of maneuver, his position completely compromised, and with the even better off angle from Peace from across will finish that kill, and the pickup is here. 2 kills going over to the game 3 winners. NECAT continue to dominate maybe. But 2 teams out already, just crazy. 1 in North Georgia Port, as we saw. Hex went out. Then we have TC. After a strong game 1, they actually didn't make it. Maybe they want to play as a trio. When they play as a trio, a little bit more like careful or bright, maybe, and as a full team haven't been performing as well. But you know what? That's not how data works. That's not how statistics work. We need more data. So let's see whether they can redeem themselves in the weeks to come. Yeah, today we're pretty much done, so we'll need to see. And a little bit of an interesting situation, or potential 3-way fight as well. Execution moving on the outside, but more so a standoff from the hill, helped by Entropiq, now facing the trio. I think that's a trio from NERA, or in that compound right there. So it's a 2-1-1 split, 2 to grab more info, and Dale will actually send it in, make it a 3v3 in the compound with the overlook coming from backfire on the northern side. Ugh, just sneeze, guys. Just, you know, maybe summer pollens that get into my nose, but look at this one, that RENGERS is having some issues right now. NECAT continues to put pressure down 2-0 for the side of RENGERS, and NECAT continues to dominate maybe. And we will see the circle continue to shift towards the north, the southwestern side, and a lot of teams still need to rotate in, so we may get an open field finish actually. The 3 teams still stuck from around the farm area on that eastern, outside of that eastern edge, as we can see, and Ben most want to staying true to the style to say, you know what, we will have a slow phase 1 and 2, but let's hold that thought, because Entropiq is pulling that trigger. Sans is not, the rest of them needs to slowly push in. Dale trying to cook a nade to first finish that, and the Starkey will first get the revive on there. The nade was not cooked well enough, buddy, and the Dale will try round to backfire, will now send themselves in as well. Rage OP is not across, so it's a 4v2. They can take their time if they want, as long as they can make it work. I've definitely seen good 2v3s before, and the more volatile part will still be to the eastern side, because they are not in the circle, and this is another knock coming in. That is Savvy OP, needing to be really OP if they can take this, but no, and they will go out at 10th position as Entropiq grabs the 3rd kill of the game, and Dale will be revived as well, so the full reset as they hold this strong. And take this time to see how everyone is doing in chat. Is everyone still in here? Someone says they love the commentary and stuff. You know what? And thank you so much. I do what I can. I like doing these in my particular style, at least, to be a little bit more analytical, a little bit critical, you can say that. And but just with the analytical and coaching background that I have, I think is probably the best way for me to use my ability and to give what I can give to the community, you know. And Conqueror, let's not forget about them. Conqueror Germany, the game 1 winners. We have not seen them shown up as strong since that win in game 1, but they may be proving me wrong, because NECAT has so much potential, so much momentum, and Rasho and Aga with the other 2 teammates are just here to put the pain down. As they take one knock after the next, they will just do some run over the fancy bit from Aga as well. They can cruise back into the play zone if they wish, but that is also RENGERS very close to him. Rasho is feeling that, wow, it's a nice skin. I have not seen this before. This looks sick. Well, I didn't like spending money in this game, but that you guys would maybe change things, you know. But he will cruise around that, and there's maybe 2 more kills that they can grab for the Conqueror Germany on that eastern side. 4v2 maybe against RENGERS, but they would need to first get a spot in themselves, which they do. The remnants of the NECAT team need to pull away, and SNAKEsquad is in position to control, and we will have a really tricky circle for these teams, going through those open fields as well as some hills now held by Entropiq. One of my favorite positions for this type of circle, with some water in play, coastal compounds, but the northern or the top left half of that circle is just so empty. Really test the abilities of those remaining players of NECAT, as well as a team like Penn Most Wanted, because a lot of teams will be setting up in the different compounds as well as the coastline if they don't want to play this open field for a very obvious reason. And now we have Executions yet to find the kill, but they will find some knots right here on the face of them. It's the trio of Daos Legion, the team that took some good fight, although they were a trio in North Georgia Pool, and now Melis needs to hold this down further. The pinch from outside can be their Dale on that western side of, and also we have Entropiq from the hill, a very good position with 360 control if they can use it. Insania gets not when they're trying to hold this compound down, and not going to be an easy one. Seems like a team wants to just send it in. SNAKEsquad is there. SNAKEsquads want to capitalize on this. They will push the not player. They will try to capitalize. This is a time for Execution to respond to the comms and stop this thirst from coming through, as well as punishing SNAKEsquad possibly for their aggression. three-way fight in here with some sidelines from everywhere as well. Xerox get knocked in there. Insania still buying time. And Bilal just need to find this right angle. The patience will be rewarded from this balcony as they take another knock. But two of them has been knocked. One finished as well. Shoxy and Bilal, the last two standing for the side execution. UK joining in the fight, of course, is SNAKEsquad. Anoob is knocked from that earlier play. The AK was strong from execution, but the support is now coming in. Shoxy still buying time. The defensive angle's not guarded well enough. That is on Diati getting knocked from that side, but the trade is there from Slow-Mo. And this is time for teams to maybe third party this, and Octavian would take that time to finish that one. This is the type of TDM, this is the type of hot drops, this is the type of awareness that you need to have. Every footstep counts, every move needs to be calculated. And let's not forget that they can still get, you know, fourth party, fifth party from the outskirts. It seems like Pen Most Wanted has some plans trying to control, at least expanding control on the northern side. Still pretty edge, but that will allow them to maybe enter the circle with a little bit more information. So the circle's going in favor of some of these teams that are more on the edge. RENGERS seems to be gone, and that will be the full control on that eastern arc, or that... the bottom right quadrant, I should say, on that edge for the Conquerors. And then NECAT still needs to get cleared out by Pen Most Wanted. But look at all these fights happening in this compound. The three fight still continues. And that is Entropiq still watching from the outside. They're trying to make a move. SNAKEsquad is aggressive. Insania has to hold this down. But he's got a little bit stuck on that wall with the Uzi. Can be really, really strong. Almost take that knock. We'll just chase it down. We'll take the opening knock. And we'll quickly take that flush as well. The kill point is important. SNAKEsquad is slowly choking. Maybe Insania with a drop shot. That might be just the last one. The 2v1 can come through. No! The 1v2 is the actual situation. Get some of my aggression. And this is Entropiq. Now he's taking this time to finish this. But no, the first team who will get that is the other team sharing the compound. The full trio is still up for the side of Daos Legion, and they will be able to clean this up and control it still. This spot is still strong in the circle on that western side, and that will be them at least living another day, making it to top 6, but not easy to escape from it against that sideline from Entropiq from that hill. On this side as well is not just, so we can see Pen Most Wanted pulling away from the straight northern side, opting in to play this top left quadrant. We'll find one kill. It's Farah with the mini once again, and Barker trying to scout further in. Not an easy scout with respect to just all the sidelines from all the compounds, so they need to respect these other strong positions maybe. And Outplayed losing one after one, and now it's just chaos. 1337. I don't 1337. Sometime people need to DM me, tell me how to pronounce the names. But we'll be living in that for another day, and can't fault that. Just using that part. That smoke for now. Back with the Mosin. The new sniper can maybe put some pain in. They found a good dip right in here. It's important to know the landscape that you can use in what seems to be an open field. So it's part of the studying that these players need to do, and that will actually get them a pretty good split in this circle. So take out your notebook, learn from each other, and also get into classics and custom room to just find these important information, because you just need to know how to play it. It's better to know what something looks like before getting there, and people just know. People do know, right? Even tier 2 players, they know a good amount, but needs to be more sometimes, you know? And we will see this circle slowly getting close. And I mean, we don't have a lot of teams in today's lobby, and then we also have more early fights than we thought, because everyone's still testing waters, testing drop spots, finding out each other's play style. So we don't have as many players as we think. As we can see, the circle going to NECAT and Pen Most Wanted. So all these teams that are relying on the comfortable spots and strong positions now need to come in to grab this one for themselves. The scouting needs to be important, knowing the absolute limits, knowledge to render distance, all of that will be in play as we see Entropiq trying to make the first move in. Octavian probably the last one standing for Daos Legion, and they need to just hold that down, and Entropiq is now pulling on top. The 2-1-1 split coming from Pen Most Wanted did not stop the rotation from Entropiq right now. Maybe sidelines was not enough yet on that part, but they will still use this ridge lines for now, and going so far north as well. Entropiq was allowed to do that, maybe relying on their map knowledge as well to hide themselves from this position. The last player of OP is now moving, and the pinch from Pen Most Wanted can maybe take them down. Back is responding. The comms came through from Kid as they slowly rotate in, but that will just be OP. Run the last player going into the area of control by Entropiq, but that might be doing Pen Most Wanted a favor to give that information of the other team. Also NECAT around the area trying to stop some players from coming in. Conqueror Germany needs to come in from that eastern side. Not as easy as they won for now. And we can see the 2 4x1 split from these two teams. Expanding the control in the circle will really rely on their own game sense to make this work. Look at Packfire trying to get more and more. And NECAT, look at them still making things work. Kid will find some sight lines onto Dale, and they will need to further this little bit of a stand-up. And it's a brilliant one. Just look at NECAT. The duo is so strong. They held it down. The control, the skills to reflex. I am looking out for this team. How they can still grab points when they don't have all the players they want, and even sweeping it out. Maybe 3 out of 4 knocks onto Conqueror is done by this team, and they are still in it as a duo. Absolutely mental. And this is a time to maybe see how these... Okay, 2 full squads, I think. Yeah, and 2 solos. It should be a battle between the 2 full teams, but it's also about... Yeah, it's also about the zone, of course. And as we could see, Kid, the IGL from Pen Most Wanted, have absolutely no meds. And so they just need to know how to play patiently. Yeah, and we will have the circle dictating this phase. Seems like Pen Most Wanted has a little bit of an advantage, but we need to also, for example, rely on backup on his position to stop the rotation from from Starkey and Sands on that side. So no, it's a 4v3, v2, v1, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that is the amount of players we have, and Malum is still trying to cause trouble, although it's outside of the circle. The duo and the solo need to go further. Backfire relying on that car. Need to pop some tires maybe, buddy, so that you don't lose life, but it's a good practice. Look at Malum go. With a DP, very strong weapon. I actually made a point yesterday about the importance of training, yeah, in learning how to use the DP47. Just because it's so strong. And then we have Barker on that north side being found, so it will be a little bit hard to control that northern side, with some of the team having no meds as well. That makes it harder for the side of Pen Most Wanted to continue in this late game. And the Starkey is not afraid to use some smokes and maneuvering with the buggy. Every bit of control is within his eyes, and that is them still playing these splits. NECAT still need to come in. Not an easy field to get through, just using smokes and some crawling to get in. Octavian is on his way as well. I think he might have been in position already, but you know what, NECAT is in here and will find a brilliant one in. You know what, slowly working their way through might be possible. Who would have thought them losing to pretty early would lead them to top 4 or even further? But look at all these teams having no meds. Starkey can't even afford another mistake, and that is how important these are. But Sands will just use those pretty good sight lines, will take out 1 out of 2 from the side of NECAT. And this is good training. I think we can't fault anyone for playing maybe these a little bit poorly. Is all good practice. This is a very likely way to finish any Erangel games, and this is already really good that we only got 4 teams. Usually we can safely say that they could be, you know, 8 teams, 9 teams, and that's it really. And Octavian's still in here, got some first aids if he can, you know, control that. You know what, if I were them, I would use the I would use the Octavian with some good sightlines, the double knock, and maybe burning down in terms of meds as well, and trying for that revive eventually to going over to this team of solos. So we have a 2v3v1v1 situation. But the circle will go over to Pen Most Wanted. The Sarah needs to hold it down against a trio who will come on in. And Farah's position is so important to grab info onto Sarah to stop those push coming through. This is the type of training that all these players need to have. And Malum is still in here. So a difference of 7 points in placement points between all these teams. And the circle's about to close. 10 more seconds and we will have the phase 7 coming in. We can see the players' experience showing through, knowing that if we are going to crawl, we need to crawl now, basically. So Octavian making his way in, trying to cause more troubles for the Pen Most Wanted team, maybe. Throwing a smoke, actually. And will be an interesting one, because I think this can't be fought. He can stop Farah from peeking, but also give info to people to say, oh, there's a smoke there, and force other enemies to look at Farah. So maybe Octavian has the big brain play that people don't understand. And Malum says, you know what, it takes a bit too much time, so I'm just gonna, you know, run up and just move a little bit first, and Backfire will first find some knocks maybe, but Octavian will first be found by Siren. So we're down to a 3v2v1, and that's Backfire trying to spray down where the buggy went to, and he's just 1 meter away from circle. So this is anyone's game, and Malum, as long as this guy can have that trigger discipline, he can maybe make it work. A little bit tricky coming in here. This is a time for a nade, maybe one knock going on to Pen Most Wanted. They will first finish that 1 kill. Farah last one standing. 3v1v1 is a difference of 5 points between the placement points. This is a time for them to strike. Farah can maybe take this down, and Backfire is trying to cover fire, but let's not forget about that solo who is still buying time, and Entropiq is all pinned on that one player. Where is the solo when he can strike, when he can save Farah? And there he comes. He will push all that, but he will go out. But that is the damage done already, forcing this into a 1v2. Entropiq waiting to get the last kill. Only got bandages left. No, the last first aid popped by Farah. Very timely first aid, still got stopped right there from that shake. And maybe just a little bit of a panic stop there as he rely on to playing this left side, and he will be found from the split. And that is this game done. Entropiq with the brilliant finish. Backfire with 10 bloody kills. I think is the first player in our official PMCO Europe Scrim that has gotten 10 kills, 12 kill chicken dinner, and then we see just multiple plays coming from these players. And wow, that is the type of practice that we want to see. Yeah, we can see the importance of trigger discipline, the importance of scouting, and you know, footstep discipline, all that good stuff for you, and presented to you for you to study, for you to learn from, for you to think about as well. And it's been such a good day as well. And next week it will be the very lovely Max 130 to do some more for you lot. And this is me done for today, and waiting, you know, looking forward to see how a lot of these teams come back and show a stronger side of themselves. Also new teams coming in. We have the 5 European regions from PMCO, right? All these teams, by the way, are invited because they made it to the regional finals. We've got Europe wildcard, we have the UK, we have France, Germany, and Turkey. So it's a great group of talents that we get to see them showcasing their skills. And but that is me done basically for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you do like the commentary and the productions, give a shout out to Starlighter for sure. You know what, we don't always get these, we don't always get stats, you know, kill counts, the damage count. Those are great to have. So some people say arguably better than PMCO, but you know what? Let's cut each other some slack. It's not an easy time to make things work, especially when everyone's in lockdown still. Not everyone, but at least I'm in the UK, it's pretty much still locked down. So prayers and blessings to everyone. Stay safe, stay strong, stay happy, and keep fragging. I'll see you guys soon. Have a brilliant rest of the day. Have a great week ahead, and I will send my regards to you all next week via Maxman. Have a brilliant one, and I'll see you guys soon.